Hey guys, welcome to XK Tech, and today we're going to talk about a dinosaur, literally, the Galaxy S4, a phone released 6 years ago. Let's see how it holds up in 2019. This phone is very slow, I mean sluggish. I know it's an old phone and software updates aren't getting to it, but launching the camera is the slowest I've ever seen or used in a phone. And other apps like Messengers are just so slow. This phone has an octa-core processor, but it doesn't feel like it has an octa-core processor. It feels like a single core processor. Samsung proves of how your software is horrible. My favorite feature of the Galaxy S4 has to be the removable battery. You know when sometimes your phone crashes and it's unfixable? Well, you can just take out that battery. Or when you run out of juice and you have a spare. The versatility it grants you is incredible. I wish more phones had this feature. Now let's move on to optics. The rear camera is 13 megapixels with an f2.2 aperture, and the front is a 2 megapixel sensor with an f2.4 aperture. These cameras are good, but not great. What I mean is, they're good in daylight, but once you get onto low light, they're just okay. Show them the pictures. It's great outdoors with great contrast and saturation, but some clipping. You can use HDR like on these flowers, where the exposure is very balanced. And the pictures are good indoors and outdoors, but the only problem I have is low light. I like that the camera doesn't do a lot of noise reduction, so images are sharp and detailed. Considering this phone is from 2013, the quality is very impressive and you'll be very impressed. My pictures are very dark and grainy and have blown out highlights. But HDR does improve it a lot, so just use it instead of that night mode. And selfies in low light, just see for yourself. But it does have a night mode, so your low light pictures won't look that bad and you can still post them. Usually it's HDR that helps this camera become good in low light, so use it. Which proves to me that a flagship will always be a flagship no matter how good. Now let's move on to the display. The Galaxy S4 has a 1080p screen at 441 pixels per inch, and it is a very gorgeous screen. It's super AMOLED as you'd expect from Samsung, and there's very deep blacks, great contrast, and very good colors, but it's not that bright. But for the most part, you can play any game, watch any video, and it'll still look very gorgeous. So what you'd expect from Samsung. Battery life on this phone is unfortunately horrible. Even with the large capacity, I can't even hit a full day of work. Well, I can't even hit a half day of work. But it does have a removable battery, so you can change it on the go if you want to. There is no fast charging, but there is wireless charging with a special back cover, so that's a consolation prize. Now let's move on to design. My main complaints are the mushy home button and the soft keys, which are unresponsive at times, but for the most part I have no problem with plastic because it enables removable batteries. And we're running Android Lollipop, which is bad because it's touch-wise, but you can live with it if you turn every setting off. So what can I say about the Galaxy S4? A phone I've been using for 3 years now. Well, I can say my favorite things about it are this camera and this display, and that's about it. But it's an old phone, so I understand it has some defects, like the lag, like the battery life, and like the software. I mean, the software support is so bad, Samsung need to fix it. But beyond that, you can use this phone if you want to. And if you'd like to, you can even buy it for 70 bucks on eBay, Amazon. So I'd give it a 5 out of 10 sort of thing, good. If you like this video, please subscribe, share, and you can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And